What did you YouTube? Welcome back to another video. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. When you're actually trying to build yourself to have an aesthetic physique, aesthetic look, right? If you look back in the days, see these Greek gods and everything, they always have these aesthetic looks. And sometimes like people get it twisted, like saying you can only get those looks by lifting weights, but which is not right though. But if you look at it from a broader perspective, back in the days they didn't have these, renowned gyms, these all these equipments and everything. So most of the times people do calisthenics, or they did calisthenics to, maximize their gains and to be able to get into that aesthetic looks, aesthetic physique. So when I started lifting, or when I started actually doing fitness, I started off with calisthenics, to be honest, because I remember when I came into Australia, I didn't had enough funding to be able to, go to the gym and have like every week pay in and be a member of the gym. So what I did was I used to go to the parks, and I did some calisthenics in the parks. So I'll do some running and calisthenics, like that was like hybrid in its own form. But yeah, today's video I just want to share, like, what you can actually do to maximize your gain just by doing calisthenics. I know in recent days most people, what they do is the lift weights, which has shown to be more rewarding than calisthenics in terms of maximizing your gain. But at the same time, there are people, or I know a lot of people out there who do just calisthenics and they still maximize their gain, and they'll still have that aesthetic looks, aesthetic physiques, which I feel like everybody wants these days. Now, if you're doing calisthenics, or if you are just about to start your fitness career or your fitness journey, what I recommend that you do is to start off with calisthenics, which is something I feel like it helps you first off because you're just getting started with your fitness journey, and plus the fact that if you start off lifting weights and you start going heavy, and not knowing the machines and not knowing what to do in the gym, it also has its own effects on you. So if you start off with calisthenics, which is basic, just push-ups, pull-ups, and other things like dips, which is just a basic, and I feel like most people can easily learn and know how to do them, and then you can easily get up from there and start lifting weights and everything, which is what I did actually. So with calisthenics, what's calisthenics? First off, calisthenics like using your body's weight as resistance, right, to perform multi-joint complex compound exercises. Yeah, for instance, doing push-ups, doing pull-ups, and dips, with little or no weights attached to it. You just using your body weights to do those activities or those exercises. That's what is called calisthenics in a nutshell. Now, what most people fail to understand is that with calisthenics, right, you can actually gain, more like mass, like muscle mass within time. Like, people think with calisthenics you cannot gain, but you can actually gain muscle mass within time. But there are certain things that you have to do. There are certain things that you have to prioritize to be able to be on the same level as someone who does lifting, because with lifting you can actually go more than your own body weight, to be able to get that resistance. But with calisthenics, for most part, it's just using your body weight. So which is sometimes difficult. That's why sometimes some people feel like it's difficult to get muscle mass or to have that aesthetic looks with just calisthenics. Now, the first thing you want to do when you start off with calisthenics is just to make sure that every single set that you do in a form of calisthenic exercise, you take it to failure. Now, when I mean taking it to failure, it means like the very first initial way that you started to do that set exercise, you can't do it at the end. You can't do it with the same form. You cannot do it with the same accuracy and everything like that. So when you start calisthenics, for instance, say you're doing push-ups and you've leveled yourself like, oh, I'm gonna do 30 push-ups for this set. But now if you go to 30 push-ups and you realize that you still got more in the tank, or you can even go to up to 40, up to 50 push-ups, why don't you do that? You see what I'm saying? You do that push-ups and you are getting to failure. At the same time, you're maximizing your muscle gain, you're maximizing your gain. But now if you just stop at 30 and then you continue to the next one, it's like it takes a lot of time to be able to get that gain. So the main thing you want to do first off is to make sure that whenever you are trying to do a set exercise, you make sure you go to failure. You understand? You go to failure. The next thing you want to do is to make sure you are on form at every exercise. When I mean form, I mean making sure that every exercise that you do it with accuracy. You do it without loose form. You get what I mean? So, for instance, if you're doing pull-ups or chin-ups, you should be on perfect form while doing exercises like that. And the next thing you want to do to ensure that you're gaining muscle mass in calisthenics is to like consider doing 2 times a day. You can go in the morning, say to the park and do some calisthenics, right? And then if you still feel like you can do some more in the evening, why don't you go in the evening and do some more, and get those reps in and get those sets in. It's very important for muscle gain as well. And one of the last important thing that you want to take notice while doing calisthenics is your dieting. Now, most people think that just because you're doing calisthenics, your diet is totally different from someone who is doing weightlifting. No, it's the same thing. First off, you're trying to gain muscles, and to be able to gain muscles, you need more proteins. You need proteins in your diet and less fats to get that aesthetic looks, right? Now, if you need more proteins in your diet and less fat, that means your diet should be the same as someone who does weightlifting, right? So, maximizing your protein intake and reducing your level of fat, taking whole foods, make sure you cook meals, you know what I'm saying? Or if at all you want to get meals from outside, it should be a plant meals. Most people concentrate on eating chicken breast, and some beans, some potatoes. Those are very essential diets to be able to maximize your gain. Those are essential things to maximize your gain. More so, with calisthenics, you want to ensure that you stay consistent. Very important. You have to be able to do this consistently without non-stop. That's the way you maximize your gain. You can't just come in and say you're doing calisthenics 3 times a day or a week, sorry. I mean, that might be essential though, but like look at it from a broader standpoint. Like calisthenics is just using your weight, right? Now, if you do 3 times a week, like, am I really getting? You ask yourself, am I really getting enough of what I'm doing? Or if you want to do, say, throughout the week, because look at it like you're just using your body weight. Unless you're trying to increase, like add more weights to it, like for instance, like dips, you do weighted dips and things of that nature, and then yeah, of course. But if you're just using your body weights, then you should consider being consistent and making sure that you don't miss a day without doing your calisthenics, because you can literally, with calisthenics, one important thing about calisthenics is that you can do it anywhere. You can literally do push-ups anywhere. You can get up in the morning and start off with push-ups and things like that. So yeah, to be able to get that aesthetic physique, that look, then the most important thing that you have to do is to be able to stay consistent, to prioritize your diet and your sleep as well. Very important thing. So yeah, those are little things that I want to share with you on how you can maximize your gain with calisthenics and start off with calisthenics. Calisthenics is very essential. It's very good. With calisthenics, I feel like you can literally get minimal risks of injuring yourself other than lifting. There's a high possibility of you injuring yourself with lifting than calisthenics. But yeah, know how you do with that information. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Thank you. Until next time, we meet again. Cheers. Bye.